Sometimes we need to add elements through the JavaScript. So imagine you have a machine that creates HTML elements easily. You can add many classes and attributes without limitation. It would be great. Hello my friends, thank you so much for coming to join me. Today I'm here with JavaScript tips and I'm going to build a machine that creates any HTML elements. We used JavaScript Basic to develop this machine. So we don't need to be an expert in JavaScript to build this. This tutorial will teach you how to create element, how to add classes and attributes on element, how to add text in element, how to clean our code by maintaining dry principles, objects, array, and more. Before we start, give me a thumbs up if this video was helpful, and if you're new to my channel, hit the subscribe button. So, without further ado, let's go to the code editor. In my case, I'm using VS Code and you can use any other editors. So first of all, I'm showing you how to create an element through the JavaScript. So what we can do, document dot create element. This is the method, and inside the method we need to pass a string which is any HTML element. So in my case I'm using div. So and after that it looks like this. So let's comment here div like this. So then we need to store somewhere so that we can access. So let's say const div. Okay, and let's check into the console. It's working successful. Console dot log, and here's div. So let's go to the HTML file and initial it, then link the JavaScript, custom.js link, and also script source will be JS, script.js. Then open it with a live server. Right click, open the console. And here we are. This is our div which we created. That's great. Go back to the JavaScript file and then let's add the class on this div. So div dot class list dot add, and here will be the class name which is container. Okay, then let's check it to the console, paste it. Now think, when we create an input, we need to set many attributes like types, name, placeholder, etc. For setting attribute, we have to use set attribute method. So let's change the div to input and set attribute on it. Input, and here also input. Let's select the input, and then dot set attribute, which is the method. And this method takes two arguments. First will be the attribute's name, which is the type, and second is the attribute values, for example email. And then let's check into the console. So cut from here and paste it. Here we are. This is successfully added, and input class with container, and type is email. So now we can pass this element through the JavaScript. So what we can do, document dot body, which is body, this body, and then dot append child, and inside this method pass the element which we created, input. Okay, so let's check into the live server. Yes, this is working. Great. Now think you have many elements to add from JavaScript. On that time, we need to repeat the code, right? But this is the difficult way. So let's say this is the solution 1. Solution 1. So 1. And comment all this code. Okay. And now I'm going to create a machine that helps us to create element without repeating. And let's say this is solution 2. Solution 2. Create a function name with create element. Create element. Then assign. There's the function. And this function takes one parameter, which is tag name. And then create a variable name with element and assign, and document dot create element, and here will be the parameter tag name, and then return it. So return element. Okay, now let's call it create element, then let's say we want to create h1, so here is the tag name, and now let's store somewhere, so it will be the const heading1 assign create element. That's great. So select to the console.log and heading1. Let's check it. Yes, this is working. Great. So let's test the other tag name. And there's the input and img. So it's img and also header, and here is the header. All right, so how this works. So here is we calling the function and passing header string as an argument, and this string store in the parameter, and then inside the function we create a variable, and inside the variable we store document.create element, and here is the tag name, which is the header, right? And then we return the element from the function, and after that we store the header element in the heading 1, right? Let's make it h1, and now add a text on the h1. So for the adding text we need to say element dot text content assign, and here will be the text. So we can create another parameter for the text, like text, and let's put in here text, and also pass argument for like hello world. Hello world. That's it. Let's check it in our console. Yes, this is work. Now think you have long text or many other parameters. In this situation, it will be confusing and it's hard to read, right? What do you think? How can we do that? Pause the video and think your way. Okay, we can create an object which is contain all the information about the element. It will be more clean. Let's pass an argument as an object. For the tag name, property will be tag name, and value will be h1, and then for the text, property will be text, and value is hello world. And let's delete the two parameters, and here will be the element obj, and also let's change here. So element obj is an object, right? Because we pass an object as argument. So element obj dot tag name, which is the h1, and after that element obj dot text, which is this one, and this will work as before. Yes, it's working. Okay, let's say we need img tag, so img, and we are not going to pass any text in the img tag, but in this case this code still running at here, so that's why we need to add condition. So if element obj dot text, that means when element obj contain the text, on the time this code will be run, otherwise it will be skipped. And now let's add multiple class on the img. So class list, this is the property, and value will be the array, and first will be the w100, and second is img cover, and third is img. And then for this class we will create a loop. So for let I assign 0, I less than element obj dot class list, which is this class list, and dot length, and then I plus plus. Inside the loop, element, which is this element dot class list dot add, and here will be the element obj dot class list, and here is index I. That's it. This loop add all the class one by one. So let's check it. Yes, here we are. That's great. Now let's say we don't want to add any class in this img, but this code still run it here, right? In this case, we will get an error. Okay, so set the condition if element obj dot class list okay, when class list contains any array, that means any text in this array, then it will be true, otherwise it will be undefined and it will be false. Let's put it back and now add attribute list in this img. You know, when we are using img tag have old, so let's say we are adding old in this img tag. So attr list, inside the attr list, here will be the array. So inside the array, let's declare object, which is curly braces, and attr name, attribute name. So property will be attr name, and here will be the old, and then attr value will be, let's say, my picture. Okay, now let's make a loop for attr list. So for let I assign 0 and I less than element obj, which is the object, and dot attr list, which is this one, attr list dot length, and then I plus plus. So inside the loop, element which is this one, so element dot set attribute. So we know for the set attribute we need to pass two arguments. First is attribute name and second will be the value, right? Element obj dot attr list index I, so square bracket I dot attr name, and then second value element obj dot attr list index I dot attr value, right? So first is the attr name, this one, and which is the old, and second is this one, which is the my picture. So let's say yes, it's working great. And then let's set the source, img source. So attr name will be the src, and attr value, for example, dot slash img dot jpg. So let's check it. Yes, like this, right? Okay, when we don't need to be set any attribute on this element, so on the time this code don't need to be executed, right? So let's say if element obj dot attribute list so that's mean when we have any attributes on our element on the time this code will be executed, otherwise it will escape. Okay, that's great. We have successfully created a machine that can create any HTML element, anything what you want to create by this machine. So let's test this. Let's say this is heading 1, and also put in here any text like hello world, and we can add also any class in the h1. So class list array, and like h1, and also you can say anything what you want, like section title or section title, like this. Let's test this. Yes, and let's copy, and let's say here's the div or container. So tag name will be div, and class list class will be like container. Okay, console.log and div. Yes, here is. And then let's say we need to add input. Let's say input, and tag name will be input, and class name will be like input field, or another is like my input or email input, email input, and then attribute will be attr list, attr name will be attr name will be like type, and attr value will be email, and second attr will be placeholder, and it will be email or email address, and here will be the required, because we need to require it in our input. So here's empty string, because when we are you don't want to pass any attribute value, then you can simply say empty string. So let's check it. So input, yes, that's great. So let's all these element in our DOM, or you can say in HTML. So document dot body dot append child. So first is heading 1, and second will be div, and third will be input. Let's check it. Yes, it's working, and let's check in the body. Here is the h1 and container and also input. So here is the way that we can create any HTML element without limitation, class limitation, attribute limitation. You can add anything through the machine. So thanks for watching. See you in the next video.